Boom, we are going, Sans. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How many years has it been since you and Joe were in the basement? 3?
It's probably 4 years. I think I was in my senior year at school, and we just kind of came on and talked
In
a little
Alabama,
bit.
yeah.
I was down in Alabama, so it's good to be back. We've we've done some things since then, so it's good to see you boys. Obviously, the OGs when I was playing growing up.
Yeah.
And beautiful studio.
I appreciate that.
So
Thank you
happy
very much.
to see how far you guys came with this, and just happy to get on and share my story, and hopefully maybe a kid needs to hear what I have to say and
100%.
get some inspiration from it.
I love having reoccurring guests on, even if it's been 3, 2, 4, how many years it's been, and you see the development as a person, as a hockey player, maybe both, or even just as a company. We had a guy on the other day who we had on 2 years ago, and it's crazy to see the development of how a person can grow with their business, with their profession, whatever it is. So to have you on 3, 4 years later, however long it's been, it's just great to be able to see the change in a person and in the career. So I guess to start off the podcast, I want to say congrats on I don't even know. I feel like from that podcast onwards, it was just you're able to see your grind clearly. You're able to see you're a guy like you put your head down and work your ass off to get to where you're at now. Could I have called this? No. Could anyone have called this? No. But with that being said, each and every person in the world has a drive. Each and every person has that one thing to put their head down and go, I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. And it's different for everyone. So I guess the first question is, well, what was your moment of, Brennan, I got to put my head down and I got to achieve my goal of playing professional hockey? When did you think that hit on the head for you?
Well, there was, you grow up playing this game and end goal is NHL, right? But I've had so many setbacks in my career where I don't think there was that one point where I had to, kind of look myself in the mirror and say, we need to do this differently or this differently. There wasn't that moment. I've had so many of those moments, So, no, I guess when I came on the podcast, I was just coming off my senior year at school. Alabama. And I mean, my first time where I thought maybe I had a chance at pro hockey was after my junior year when I got invited to one of those NHL development camps. Montreal.
Yeah.
And just being a smaller school D1 guy, no one from my program's going to these schools. So, I mean, you kind of get encouraged by that, saying, maybe I'm sticking out somehow. They like what I see, Brennan, maybe you bring, you possibly bring this, you might be a better pro than college player. That's kind of what they were seeing in me. So that was kind of okay, I am going to take a run at this pro hockey thing. So then after my senior year, just a lot of guys that I played against, in my conference, non-conference games, Big Ten, big schools, a lot of these guys are signing these contracts. And I'm just not getting mine. Mine's not coming in. I don't think I deserved an NHL deal coming out of school just because my production and, the way I play the pro game, you don't get rewarded for that playing that in college, a hard game, right? And for me, trying to stick out to scouts and show them that I do, can play on the edge and play that hard game. If I finished a good clean hit in school, I'm gone from the game.
Yeah.
Which
is ridiculous.
So here's a quick story about just playing the hard way. So after my freshman year, I got really sick, mono my freshman year. I didn't play a game for I think a month and a half. Didn't go to class for a month and a half.
Honesty, love it.
Anyways, so freshman year kind of chalked. Sophomore year we come back in, have a good summer. And first month of that season, I was WCHA Player of the Month.
Wow.
Playing at Huntsville, Alabama, the bottom feeder of that team. And that was just that was one of those moments where you're okay, I can play. Everything that you tell yourself, if you want to get to where you want to go, you have to be your biggest fan. You got to really believe in yourself. So that's kind of one of the first moments where I'm okay, I am a player. I am what I think I am.
I got to stop you there. That's an exciting moment.
Yeah, let me finish this. Let me finish this really quick.
Okay.
Because after that month where I'm fired up, coaches are all fired up, you know what I mean? They're getting calls. Who's this kid?
Yeah.
After I get that accolade and I'm on top of the world, ready to have a big sophomore season, and who knows, maybe sign after my second season. Maybe this is, because I always, I love the North American like junior game, pro game, just like the physicality of it, compete, everything, right? Like I'm in school to hopefully get a look at playing like the kind of hockey
it's that stepping stone.
I've always wanted to play. Anyways, the first game after that big month, I hit a guy clean hit, no penalty on the play. That night, my coach comes into my hotel room and says, "You just got suspended for 2 games." 2 games in a 30-game schedule are big games. So like I come back after those 2 games, I'm not lighting it up right away. Like I fall into like a little bit of a slump. Then 6 games goes by. Then a month. And then I'm like, and then you're on the back nine of the season, and I haven't really done anything since. And it was just like, it's just one of those things where like, and I never really found it that year, the rest of the year. And that's just like one of those things where like you don't get rewarded like for playing the hard way at school. And I'm not taking anything away from the college game.
Mm-hmm.
So much skill, so much speed, unbelievable players come out of college, but like for me to showcase everything I can bring,
just wasn't the place.
No. Did I have another avenue? No. College was where I needed to go.
Well, you take that if you got it, right? Like
right. So
at least you had that moment.
That was
Yeah, it's like that moment of knowing, okay, I can play this pro game.
It's just the reassurance you have to have with yourself, because you can, like I said, be your biggest fan and I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna do this. You tell yourself that, but unless you go out and do it, like then it's just words. Like you need to go out and actually have a product that that you can say like, okay, I can play.
Was there anything, I know, coming back to the Maritime provinces, Halifax, I guess, for those training sessions, to be on the ice with Sid and those boys, you're around perfection. You're around guys that are the best in the world, and I saw you were on the ice a couple of times with those guys. And being on the ice with them is great, I'm sure, but is there anything off the ice that you learned about maybe the discipline side of the game? I don't know if those boys are, getting after it. I don't know anything about that and their lifestyle and things like that. But was there anything that you learned about the discipline side of being a pro hockey player?
Yeah, honestly, I can't I haven't been around those guys too much, but
you must have picked up something.
But just like in those couple skates, like just the compete and like these guys like they're best friends. Like obviously they're probably so happy for each other, but at the end of the day, like they're all competing to bring a Stanley Cup home.
Mm-hmm.
And like I couldn't imagine like the bragging rights like in the summer for those guys. So just to like see the way that they work against each other as like good friends, like that was inspiring to know like, okay, when I'm having practice reps wherever I am, like whoever I'm up against, like there's something on the line.
Always.
Like I'm getting better this rep, like that puck's mine. And like, that's just kind of the work ethic that like those guys kind of brought.
Yeah.
But a good story on that was like, that was after my first year pro, if you want to call it pro. It was after college where I didn't get an American League deal. So we talked about the NHL deal wasn't there. I was like, okay, like I'd be really happy with American League deal. American League deal wasn't there. American League, AHL, ECHL 2A wasn't there. And I thought like coming out of school, like if you don't get one of those deals to really set yourself, like to get an opportunity to show yourself at the biggest stage, like it's harder because so if I'm going to start in the ECHL, like that's two leagues I need to climb before getting a look up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wasn't happy with my agent. I didn't think, I was in school. I just kind of grabbed an agent like after my junior year when a couple NHL teams were looking, to bring me into camps and stuff. So I just like kind of got a guy, from the States, just like literally looked up like hockey agents.
I was just going to ask you.
Like I'm a kid in school, like I'm in business class and like my phone's ringing. I'm just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, like
Googling agents.
I'm playing like someone take these calls for me. So I just got this guy and like, anyways, ECHL was the only option coming out of school, which like, that's all I probably deserve just with my numbers. Anyways, so I got rid of that guy, signed my own ECHL deal.
What do you mean by that?
I just fired my agent. I said I can get my own ECHL deal. I'm signing with the Florida Everblades, who is probably the best team in the ECHL most years, and they send the most guys to AHL, NHL level.
I got those dogs upstairs. I just got those fucking dogs. Sorry, keep going.
Anyway, so I signed that deal. I have a good summer. I go into camp, have a really good camp. At the end of camp, this year, Florida is a double affiliate, which means they have two AHL clubs that they send their prospects down. So a double affiliate is affiliated with two AHL clubs. So at the end of training camp, Florida sent down probably 8 or 9 AHL forwards, whether they are on AHL deal or NHL deal, bumping me out of a spot because I'm, just on an ECHL contract. Like, it doesn't matter how good I was or like what I showed at camp.
They needed to be in.
These guys are on these deals. There's no way I'm taking a job over these guys. It's just how it works. End of training camp, Brennan, I'm sorry this happened. We didn't expect it to. We got to release you. Good luck.
So now you're in Florida.
So now I'm in Florida, released. The team travels. I'm in Florida. I have to call my agent now that I fired with my tail between my legs like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Can you help me?
Oh, no. It's like a walk of shame.
This guy's like, Brennan, all these teams like are already picked. Like, no one knows anything about you. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's hard to sell a guy like who is from a small school, signed an ECHL contract, just got cut from his ECHL team. Like, no one's like running to sign a guy like that, right? Like, they don't know me or anything. So anyways, that agent sends me over to North Sweden, dude, just dark all year long, just wasn't anywhere where I was supposed to be. And I was like, this isn't how it was supposed to go.
Did you say North Sweden?
Yeah, I was up in like the north part of Sweden.
Okay.
Sweden's beautiful though. Like, I loved Sweden. Sweden was great. Away from the hockey. Anyways, so we're over in Sweden now, and again, I was just like, this guy sent me to die. This guy was basically like, F you, kid. Like, I'm gonna send you like wherever I send you. Good luck.
He doesn't even know if there's hockey there.
Talk to you never. Send me my check, kid.
After you just canned him.
Mm-hmm. Go Avs. Anyways, so again, I'm over there. I'm on my own. I'm playing in this league I don't belong in. I'm like, doing like just getting crazy numbers, and I'm just like, who knows? Like, I'm over here. Like, let's just make the best of it. Let's work, and try to move up levels here. Like,
well, why not?
As we know, just from guys like Dixon and Gordon from around here, like, there's money to be made over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of just like doing research or whatever. Just like, the owner of whatever club I was on was like, we got to get you out of here. Like,
why did he say that?
He was just like, you can play. Like, and this guy, my agent was friends with probably this owner and was just like, just send him a guy, just send him a North American guy. He's like, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to introduce you to this guy who works at Newport, big agency,
Mm-hmm.
reps like Carlson, all these big guys. He's like, I'm going to introduce you to this guy, and he's going to take care of you. These stories are so funny, man.
I love it. They're awesome.
So funny, man. So I meet this agent. This agent doesn't speak English. We're at dinner. They're talking. I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting there like this, just like twiddling my thumbs, like with my 2 hockey bags, because I'm ready to go somewhere. All I got is 2 hockey bags.
You brought your shit with you?
2 hockey bags, one with hockey gear, one with my Xbox and my shoes and
in
clothes.
the restaurant.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to go play. This guy's like, at the end of this dinner, this guy's on the phone the whole time. He's got me a deal, top league in Norway, good league, good money, like more money than I would have made playing in Florida if I didn't get called up that first year pro, more money. And I was like, that's why, you got to think that there's like someone's pulling you along. Someone's looking out for you, right? Like maybe the Florida thing, maybe I could have got hurt. Like you know, maybe it wasn't it for me. Maybe like this is where I'm supposed to be, over in Europe making money for the next 10 years.
That's the mindset you got to have, though, right? When you're going after stuff.
You gotta be optimistic, man, and you gotta work. So now, here we go. All I know is I'm going to Norway. This is my first time in Europe.
By yourself.
Yeah. I was like, how am I getting there? He's like, yeah, there's like trains and buses. So here I go. I'm heading down to the heading down to the train station. So it's like, I didn't sleep that night. Like middle of the night, I'm on a train. I'm heading down to like Stockholm. And then from Stockholm, I'm going to get another train to Norway. Anyways, so we get to Stockholm. This is like 12 hours into my departure up to Norway. And so we get off the first one, and it's like no one's around. A couple people are around, and they're like, Brennan, or they were like, I'm asking them, I'm like, I need to get to Oslo, Norway. And they're like, oh, like, a train will take you to Oslo, Norway. I was like, a bus. A bus will take you to Oslo, Norway. I was like, I thought I was just taking trains. Everything's in Swedish, like nothing's in English. And like I said, I got my 2 bags and my sticks and a dream. Anyways, so we get there and I'm looking, and they're like, the train station is a mile away. And I know, like, and I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, that leaves in like half an hour.
No chance.
Half an hour, whatever it was. So I just book it with my bags. It's the middle of winter. It's freezing. It's freezing. And I'm running to the bus station.
You ran there?
Yeah, with my shit. I get there and I'm looking. Boys, I pull up to this bus station, and this bus station was like a Metro Transit bus station. I look on like maps or whatever, connect to Wi-Fi because I don't have a phone yet. I'm in like a coffee shop across, like looking it up. So then I was like, there's no way one of these Metro Transit buses is take me to a different country. And then I go and talk to a bus driver, and she was like, no, that's like a bus, but it's picking you up at the train station because it's like a Greyhound, like what we travel in junior with. I was like, you're kidding me.
I don't know.
So I got like 15 minutes to make this train. So here we go, 2 bags, ripping back, dude. At one point, I just drop all my shit. I'm just like looking at the sky, like I'm going home, man. I'm in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm like, there's got to be an airport here. Like, get me the fuck home.
There's got to be an airport, but you got to run to it, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I end up making it. Like, it's like literally pulling off as I get there, and like. He lets me on. Here we go. Now we're going to Norway. I wake up. I'm in a different country. I get off the train, or the bus, sorry, and the logos of the there was a car with the logos of the team I'm supposed to be playing for. They're like, Saulnier. I'm like, just woke up. I don't know what day, what time it is.
Obviously, they knew it was you.
With me. We go right to the rink, meet the coach. And he's like, how are you feeling? I was like, I'm feeling all right. He's like, okay, well, we have practice in an hour. This is in an hour, which is my tryout. So I have to give my first impression off of like the hell day I just had.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Anyways, so it's just like, that's just another funny story of me, like, just like over there, like grinding it out and like showing up there. Like, now I got to go there and actually impress these guys. Like, it was just like one of those it was so crazy.
Any Canadians in the room when you get in there?
That's a great question, Belly. So there was actually 3 Canadians, and that coach was a North American guy too.
Oh,
he
that's
coached
awesome.
at like the AHL or ECHL level the year before.
That's why you wanted a North
And
American
then I'm
guy.
there, and they actually just lost a guy. A guy left to go back home.
Yeah.
So like I was like coming in to take his contract, and I was there for a month, man, and it was like apartment was like beautiful apartment. I'm just outside Oslo, like beautiful place. I got a brand new SUV. Like, I'm gonna be making money. I was like, this is it, man. And if you have a big year in this Norway league, like you can go to like top league, you know, in Sweden and Germany and KHL. Like I was happy to be where I was at.
Yeah.
Especially after all the shit he just went
You
through.
know, yeah, I was like, you know, it was worth it. Like, I'm here now, I'm ready to play. So I have so once I arrived there, they got to get my working visa, because I went over there, like that first team I was playing on, I was just like literally making cash under the table. Like, anyways, it was a little corrupt. So I'm out there, like coaches ask me where I play, like power play. I'm doing well, like I'm skating well, something to prove, like, big ice. I can skate. I'm feeling good with the North American guys too. So I feel like I'm kind of in like that kind of dressing
Almost
room
feel
again.
at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like at home, but so far away, but at home. And these guys were wicked guys to me. They knew what happened like in North America, and they, you know, that shit happens. Sans like we've all like, you know, we've seen it, we've been through it. Anyways, I'm in there. I'm working power play. I'm feeling good. I'm with the boys. Week goes by. They haven't got this visa done.
How much time do you have left before you get like deported or whatever?
2 weeks go by. Visa's not done. A month goes by, and I'm just like getting worried. And the guy, the owner of that team brings me in. They're like, Brennan, like these visas take a long time to process. We need a guy to come in and help us right now. We got to let you go.
Oh, because you couldn't play.
Couldn't play without a visa. We got to let you go.
Oh my god. After you just get on a roll.
And I'm like, 2 bags,
Back on the
sticks
shoulders.
again. Where's the train station? I'm back on the trains, boys. Anyways, to wrap this long story off, sorry, I'm
No, man, I
going
love
on,
it. This
I'm
is
going on.
great. This
This
is
is what it's all
great.
about.
You
Yeah.
guys can clip this shit.
Oh, we're
obviously,
definitely going
but,
to.
Anyways, I end up just like, you know, at this point I'm just crushed. So I go back to the team I was just on in Sweden. I make it back there because like those guys, like they're just wicked guys, man. Just like they just like they love me, and it was good. I was having fun there. So I went back there,
To Sweden?
back to Sweden,
Okay.
and then a team. Once I got there, like a week in, I was like, I can't stay here. You know, I was just like, I'm not making money. Like it's just like I'm just wasting my time. And it was a team in the net, like a higher level in Sweden actually called me and was just like, because the agent went dark, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Never heard of you before.
No, I'm on my own again. Anyways, so then they were like, we'll pay you like whatever you would have made in the ECHL. Because this is around Christmas time, actually. I was going to come home and see maybe Newfoundland or maybe a team would let me come in for a tryout or something, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, we'll pay you what you make in ECHL just to stay, just to stay here. You're a good player, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up getting on a train and going down to that team. It was like South Sweden. Finished the year there. It was good. And then I came home. And I thought that was probably it, right? Like
After your first year pro, pretty much.
I
You
had,
thought
like-
that was it.
I don't know if that was it, but just like all signs from the hockey gods after a season like that is kind of like, shut it down. You have a degree, full scholarship, 4 years. Like you can hang your hat on that. Like you did something with the game if you can get your education paid for, and compete on that level. Anyway, so I would start working at a bank, just like being a teller. Like
I remember this.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
this.
not training. I'm working now, and I'm back home, and I'm just like, just going a little crazy, just
Depressed.
like just like.
The bank will do that to you. I was in that boat too. The bank will do that to you.
I think whatever it was, just like that transition.
Of not playing, man.
Well,
like,
the transition from being in the room
Well-
with the boys to a bank and a lunchroom.
Yeah, it was another thing. Like I didn't
Yeah.
like this was just something temporary though. It was like I just jumped in. I didn't. When hockey ends, like I know there's gonna be something for me. There's something for everyone. Like, but I didn't take any time to really research and like find out what kind of career I wanted to. I feel like a little part of me kind of knew, when like it's time to go for hockey again, something might happen,
Yeah.
So I'm there just kind of working, learning. Anyways, so a kid that I played at school with over this, when I'm working and I'm not training, calls me, he says, Son's like, where are you playing next year? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm not. He said, yes, you are. He goes, I'm going to get you a tryout here in Rapid City, South Dakota. And
East Coast?
ECHL, that's where he played the year before. We graduated school together.
Okay.
And his first year, he signed there to play there, had a good year. And I was over there overseas. So he said, I'm going to bring you to tryouts. I'm going to get the coach will give you a tryout.
So now he's your agent.
So yeah, my buddy's my agent. I've always been my own agent.
Sorry to interrupt you, man.
Mm-mm. No, please. So then I just get back in the, I get like kind of fired up again, right? Like, go in there and, you know, prove something and get on that stage. Like, anyway, so I talked to like the bank manager and I was like, you think you could cut my hours back? Like, so I can get in the gym. So like, and I'm going back to the gym. Like, I'm training with like Drake Batherson, like Mike O'Leary, like Luke Green, like these guys like are all playing in the AHL. Like,
Training.
these are my boys. So we're working. Like, we go there 7 a.m. Like, we're working hour and a half, 2 hours with Pat Busby. Got to shout out my trainer.
Shout out Pat.
Shout out Pat.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, yeah. And so we're in there like in the trenches every morning. After the workout ends, I'm showering up, I'm suiting up, and I'm going to the bank. The boys are all going to get breakfast at Ardmore, fucking going to the beach. Like, I'm getting in my suit and I'm going to the bank to work, man.
I'm going for a run after this.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I love this right now.
How
I love
relatable
this.
is this for you?
So
eh?
relatable.
Oh,
I-
dude.
As soon
I
as you
love
brought
it.
up the bank.
I love it.
It's just like, yeah, this is just like, yeah, because I'm like real life in it, but like I'm still like, I still got that fire, man.
Well, you just got it back. That's the
I
thing.
got it back, and I'm so excited. Anyways, so Nate comes in. Nate and Sid came in with Andy O'Brien to the gym we train at for like a week. I don't know if they had a big group there. I think maybe like Traverse and those guys were in for like the week. You know how they come in and skate too. So I think they just needed a bigger space. And I know Nate just from, you know, growing up playing against Nate. Like, he was a 95. And he was playing with the 93, 94s when he was with Cole Harbor.
And scoring 95.
So, and he was a little guy, and like I was a little guy because late birthday, like late to grow. So like,
Fuck, you were the little guy till you were like 22.
yeah, I mean, I'm still growing. 27, still having hit puberty. But he just, you know, we were just, you know, just chatting, man, shooting the shit, and he was like, I asked him if they were skating that week, and he was like, yeah, we're skating today. And I was like, I got my gear in the truck.
It's on my shoulder.
I got my bags.
Yeah, it's on my shoulder. I got my Xbox here too if you want to play.
I got my bag. I always got my bags, man. Always got my skates.
Yeah,
I
he's ready
love
to
it.
go.
He's
I
like, yeah,
love it.
come out. And dude, I just like went out there, man. I was just like, and I knew like half the guys already, like Logan Shaw, Drake,
Shaw's
like I
right.
said, like all those guys. So like,
That's a big moment for you though when he says, "Yeah, come out."
yeah,
That's the
come
first
out.
time.
Oh yeah,
that's
dude.
a big moment.
Yeah, so like I'm out there now, and like we're just, you know, it's practice, man. We're skating, we're snapping it around. I'm out there, I'm looking like that's 87, like that's Nate, like, you know, we're just like, it's just hockey, man. We're having fun, like competing, and then like a couple weeks after that, everyone goes off to their training camps, man, and I go into Rapid City, and I'm just feeling it, like I'm just training, and I knew I had to make that team, and like so much anxiety knowing if I don't make this team, man, like that's probably it.
Here's your second chance.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I don't make this team, man, and sure enough, like have a great camp, end of camp, like they send a few guys down they're affiliated with Arizona. So like some Arizona Tucson guys come down, and I'm kind of like on that bubble. I know I am.
But you've been here before.
But yeah, we've been here before. Anyways, that coach keeps me on the team, and we go into the season, and I'm just like playing limited minutes, like just like haven't really found my stride yet. And I know like at any point, like if Tucson sends the guy down, like that's my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going home, and that's it. So like I think like a few weeks into the season, like I start chipping away. Like I think like probably like every second, third game, like I chip in a point. I'm like playing limited minutes. I was like, I know like I'm capable of having a big night here. Like
Just waiting.
and like just playing hard, right? Defensive hockey, like, and sure enough, like I think like 2-3 weeks in the season, like I score a hat trick, and then like after that, like we're just building off that, right? You build off these like
Small victories.
these small victories, man.
Mhm.
You just bank those, right? And you build confidence off them, and you just keep working. And then I think like after that, like I start getting some power play time, man. I start fighting at home, like just becoming like a fan favorite there in Rapid City. It's around Christmas time, and I think like I'm probably pushing close to like 20 goals, man. Like I'm playing well, like feeling good, and like the AHL look hasn't come, right? Like you're in the ACHL to go to the AHL, you're in the AHL to go to the NHL,
100%.
and like obviously like getting a little frustrated, like that I'm not getting, I still don't have an agent. But I hope, like, I'm like, hope my coach, like, if he gets a call, like,
Yeah, he's your agent. Yeah.
he's my agent, right? Like, I don't need anyone. It was around Christmas time, actually. My coach pulled me and he goes, "Yeah, you just got invited to the All-Star game."
Tom baby, hey? Tom fucking baby.
The league I didn't belong in only a few months ago. Now I'm going to the All-Star game.
That'll get you going in the drawers, what?
Dude, I'm looking at your hand right now. You're shaking.
Call
like
the-
just telling this story right
And
now.
I mean, like-
well, just talking about the story. You just went from like you're on the bus in
Yeah.
Europe to now you're on the East Coast
I mean,
of the
big-
All-Star
big
game.
I'm a little bit shaky
like I'm
myself.
just sitting
so.
here.
Big picture, like, it's ECHL, and, like, I'm around guys who are, like, NHL, AHL, big names. So, like, big picture to me, like, it's like, yeah, it's very cool, but, like, it's just a small accomplishment.
This is one
right?
step.
Like, it's just like, it's nothing to, like, hang your hat on. Like,
Yeah,
you got to celebrate the little things. You can't tell me you weren't.
But yeah, man,
He
so
just said
fired
that.
up. We had anyways. So, cut me off if I'm rambling too, boys. Like, I want.
Oh man, I got nothing to
have-
say.
and
I got nothing to
I
say.
got time too.
I'm on EI. I got time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we finished that season. We finished it really strong, man. And I just I laid out some pretty good work, like, to have a look in the American League. And I knew some teams were, like, kind of interested. Like,
Yeah. I just got one question about the All-Star game in the coast.
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
is it a serious game? Like, I know I look at the NHL All-Star game, and the
Yeah.
boys are just out there having some fun. Like, is the East Coast All-Star game, like, are those boys going at it? Like, is it a good game or no?
it's the same kind of All-Star game as
Just
the
fun.
NHL,
Yeah.
AHL, any kind. But it's like one of those things where you don't want to go out there and be back checking hard and, like, being an asshole.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of like beer league.
So yeah, it's an All-Star game, and, like, you don't want to go out there and piss anyone off. But, like, there's NHL, like scouts, coaches, like, it's a big event, right? Like,
Right.
you don't want to be that guy, but you also want to be noticeable.
Let me ask you this though
Yeah.
before you continue. Did you go no Bucky in warm up?
No, I wore a Bucky. All those rookies in the NHL wear no Bucky, man. I hope that's just veterans telling them, like,
That's what I was gonna
you're
say.
not wearing a Bucky, man, because, like, have some respect for the game. Anyway, so after the All-Star game, great experience. And then I'm just like, after that, I'm feeling good, right? Just, like, offensively, just fucking beating everyone up, like, just playing, just playing the kids' game, man. Just playing the game I watched. I love it.
Maritime grit.
Maritime grit, baby. And I knew I was getting these goals, right? Like, offensively, I'm really producing. A lot of guys in the ECHL are producing.
Mm.
Not a lot of guys are producing and sticking up for their teammates and sticking up for themselves. So I saw, like, that's going to be my niche where, like, I can come in, like, I'm trying to get looks from the HL. This guy can score, plays hard, good skater. Finish hits, sticks up for his team and himself. Like, he can play on any line, and I think that's versatile. Because there's a lot of guys in the ECHL that are getting 30 goals, but they're not going to get top 6 minutes in the AHL.
No.
So what are they going to do in a bottom 6 role?
That's what I mean. You got to be able to adapt to your surroundings.
You got to be
right?
versatile, right? Like,
yeah, that's the word.
yeah, like, you just got to be a guy, like, that the coach knows, like,
Yeah.
he's showing up and he can play with any line, right?
Mhm.
Anyways, so we getting towards the end of the season, and COVID happens.
Perfect.
Everything shuts down. These AHL teams are like, we don't know if we're going to have a league. We don't know, what kind of money's going to be there. Like, none of these teams are interested in signing me at this point. So I'm like, I had that first year, and since after school, I've wanted to be in the ACHL or AHL. And now it's 2 years goes by. And COVID happens. I'm flying home, and I don't have a contract in the AHL. I do. I hooked up with an agent that summer. Anyways, so I called my media guy from Rapid City, and there was a guy who had a camera around all the time, just doing promotion stuff, like, on the Jumbotron. When
I
they
saw
have
those
stuff.
videos. He has Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple good videos.
I think he follows you too.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the show.
He's messaged us a couple times. I messaged him. I was like, if there's any highlights or anything of Brennan, do you mind sending them to me? And he sent us a couple because.
Yeah, man. I chat with him too. Like, he was putting good work in, man. He was like, Rapid City is a good organization, like, top to bottom, like. Anyway, so I called my play-by-play guy, and I called him, and I said, do you guys think you could clip some of the stuff I did this year and send it to me? Like, I'm going to try to send those clips off to, like, AHL teams to see if,
That's badass.
maybe, they see some couple, like, me popping a hat trick and then busting a guy up at center ice.
3 goals and 3 teeth.
You know? Put it in my bio. Put it on my tombstone. Anyways, so sure enough, I get that video done, and I talk to Trevor Steinberg, friend of the show.
Big fan of you.
Big fan.
Big fan of him, man. Legend. And I call him because he's played in the NHL. He's from here. His son's Matt. Plays a hard game. Love Matt. And I just asked Steiny, like, do you have any friends, like, who are GMs, coaches at the AHL level? And he was like, let me get back to you, sons. Like, couple days go by, he sends me an email to the head coach, Scott Gordon, in Lehigh Valley, which is Philly's AHL team.
Right.
And I just shoot him a quick message. Hey, this is me. This is what I did in the ECHL. I'm going to play in the AHL next year. Hope it's for you. Here's a video. Check it out, please.
I think the way you worded that was definitely the correct way to do it. I'm gonna play, hopefully for you.
Yeah. Like, if this interests you at all, get back to me. He was just like, love the video. Send it to my GM. Like, we'll get back to you if there's any interest.
Take an initiative, man. I love it.
Always.
Love it.
You kind of
Always.
have to, though. Like, that's kind of the era we're in, too, right? Like,
Well,
you
that's
send
where
your video off.
I've always been that way. Just like, anyways, to finish that story off really quick, it's like, summer's going by, and like, I get an email back, like, we're gonna sign you. Like, we're gonna sign you to. It's like a AHL ECHL deal, but it's an opportunity, right? And I'm just like, man, like, in tears, just like, I'm gonna get an opportunity to, like, see what I can do at that stage, right? Which is like all you really need. But just taking initiative, like, that all started when I was back in junior playing with, like, Wiggy and Nosy and Bridgewater. It was like, and I'm like 17, 18, and Jill's now getting recruited by schools, and we have a kid he got traded from, like, out west to Nova Scotia, and like, I don't even know there's junior A outside of the Maritimes, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just playing. I'm still in high school, and this is just like, this is where I'm playing this year.
This is fun.
Anyway, so he was like, you gotta get to like somewhere to get recruited to school, man. Like, you can go play, like, D1 maybe. Like, you're just starting to grow. Like, your baby face, like, you can play. So and there wasn't a lot of guys, like, when I'm coming up, like, obviously, like school, like, that wasn't an option, like, for you guys, like, going that way, right? Like,
never even knew it existed.
Well, back in the day, it was just like, oh, the Mooseheads Q. Like,
yeah, it's like
not
Mooseheads or bust, right?
pretty much. I took the bait.
Yeah.
We all do.
Fuck, sick league.
Anyway, so I'm like interested now. Like, so I'm looking up schools, and then I'm looking up the players, and I'm looking up where they came from. And, like, they're coming from, like, USHL or, like, out west junior A. So I pick up the phone, like, that summer. I'm just like a 17-year-old kid, like, voice hasn't even dropped yet. And I'm calling these head coaches, like, hey, like, I want to play.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
It's me.
It's me, Sanzi. I want to come play and go to school. Anyways, so, like, I just, like, whatever team sent the most guys to school, that's who I called. I called, like, 20 teams. And, like, Fort McMurray was the team that wanted to bring me in. So that's just kind of where it started on, like, just taking ownership of your own shit. And, like, I had to make those calls.
Being your biggest fan, like you said.
So I made that call. And then I had a year out there, right, where it's like you wake up every day, like, is the full ride scholarship coming in today? Like, that's hard on the head, right?
Yeah.
Waking up every morning, like, is today the game I get it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when I got my first offer there from Alabama, 4 years, parents don't have to worry about me, man. Like, free education, a chance to play against big schools. Like, I knew as long as I was on, like, in those games, doesn't matter who we're playing against, there's going to be scouts there, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you can show a little something, like, they'll find you. So that was just kind of going back to taking initiative. And
well, I want to stay on the track of taking initiative. When you know, I know you were talking about Florida, and you're like, oh, that's great. Like, it's not like the biggest stage, but like, you know, it's great. Like, my goal is still to play in the NHL. But when I see your last game this year, and you get a hat trick, you get a fight, and was there anything else? Was it just a hat trick in the fight?
Just that, yeah.
Just that, yeah. just a hat trick in the fight. And I talk about like, okay, yeah, I'm sure it was a big game. Like, you know, it was a big game, but you know, you talk about the world of social media and things happening, and it's almost like you did take initiative of your own game, and you stood out. How many guys are on the ice at a time? There's 20 guys 18 guys on a roster. You're the only guy, in my opinion, that stood out on that entire game leading into the next year, which is the 2021-2022 season, and then you earned yourself a contract. So essentially, I want to know, what's your mindset of going into each and every game? Yeah, you might not be on an NHL level, but obviously that's your goal, and you're able to go out there, get 3 fucking goals, get a fight, and the next thing you know, the internet is Brennan Saulnier, Brennan Saulnier, Brennan Saulnier, Brennan Saulnier. Who's this kid? What's going on? I want to know what your mindset is like in the dressing room before going out to play.
Yeah. I'm glad we're moving into that actually. How about I just start from like the beginning of the season?
Okay, sounds
like,
good. But do you know the question?
I do, yeah. The mindset going in every night, every game. So, so once I got to Lehigh, you know, just like had my biggest summer. Like this is a huge year for me. Like I need to go in there and like make that team like. Because I'm on like an AHL, ECHL two-way. Like if there's just too many guys, like they can send me back or whatever. Anyways, I go there, have a good training camp. I'm like sizing myself up to guys. I'm like I can be on this like third, fourth left line, like left wing slot. Like that's kind of where I saw myself fitting in. Like feeling really good, just working like a dog, man. Like just trying to show something. Like a guy like me, you have to work so much harder. You know, just. You know, for a little, you gotta, you know. So anyways, my first conversation with my coach actually after training camp was Brennan, and we're like, it's a COVID year, so we got probably 20-something forwards at camp.
Fuck.
You know, because you have your NHL team, you have Taxi that's just carrying a few guys, because in Philly, like Philly and Lehigh are so close, like they'd rather have their guys in Lehigh playing games than on the Taxi. So they're keeping a few guys on Taxi, interchanging guys. So, like, I'm just kind of, like, one of the odd man out. Like, there's 10 guys who aren't playing. But I'm just happen to be one of those guys. And my first conversation with the coach was, Brennan, get with the trainers. Like, I'm not sure if you're going to get in. So just, like, get some extra work and, like, stay ready in case, like, you know, guys get sick or, like, in case, you know, in case we got to throw you in kind of conversation. And that's nothing against the coach. It's just literally the numbers and the contracts.
At least
like,
he told you.
That's their job.
Like the coach is, you know, he was a fan of mine, and you know, I have a ton of respect for Gordo, but like that was the first conversation I have, and that was just like a, you know,
like a blow to you. Yeah,
a little bit of a blow, but we've taken many of those on the chin. Anyway, so I just like do what I say. I keep working hard. I think like a few weeks in, guys start getting sick. And I get in, and I think in my second game I had an assist. I'm feeling really good. I'm playing 5 minutes, but like those 5 minutes I feel good. I'm like I can compete like at this level. And you know, like you said, like your mindset going in, it has to be like there's just so much pressure. There's like a lot of pressure because it's like you're only gonna get your 5 minutes, but you have to stick out,
or you're gonna get less.
Or you're not going to be in, right? Like, and what's it going to be? So, like, I think the second game I got an assist. I'm, like, fired up, right? I just got my first point. Like, let's build off this. Fourth game, got my first AHL goal. So now I'm, like, 2 points, 4 games. Like, I was, like, it was kind of like the same deja vu of the year before in the ECHL now. And I'm like, what did I do after 2 months of this? I was in the All-Star game.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, we're building off this. After my first goal in that fourth game, Belly, I didn't play another game for a month and a half. Guys got healthy and guys came down. Month and a half.
Of course.
Month and a half. I didn't play hockey.
Man, my stomach just listening to this is just.
You gotta talk closer to the mic.
My stomach listening to this.
Hey, but we got back in. We got back in.
It's like this.
I got my back.
And like there was only like one thing to do once I got back in. And we were fighting.
Shed him.
We were fighting.
Yeah, 100%.
But it wasn't like I'm going to chase everyone around the ice like I'm a heavyweight. It's like I'm going to play my 5 minutes, And if an opportunity comes to stick up for one of these prospects, I'm not missing that opportunity,
No.
right? Like, you know, if I don't get a game, say if I get back in and someone hits a kid and I don't step up, I don't play the rest of the season. I don't have a contract for the next year. So, in that 5th game, just this big mutant hit one of my prospects, man. I just went after him. Good scrap. Like, no one got hurt, and I got up from that. I was like, I could just see, like, dude, the game's changing so much. Like, there's not a lot of jam. Like,
No.
I mean, there is. Like, obviously, like, we're watching the NHL playoffs. Like, that's just a different product of hockey, man. That is so fun to watch, man. And I'm just like, I try to bring that kind of game, like, every night. But, like, that fight happened, man. That's just, like, and that just gets you so much respect, like, from an organization, like, from your boys, from the coaches. And, like, and now they're looking at me, like, because they didn't really know I could fight.
It's also a dying breed too in the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you do it at the right time, though, I think it's still acceptable.
Oh, it's definitely
it's,
still.
It's not just a role to go out and do it just to do it. If you do it at the right time, I think it still has a part in the game.
Absolutely, it has to be in the game. But now they're kind of looking at me like, okay, Brennan can score, he can set guys up, and he can fight. Let's give him some more games.
See what happens.
So like, yeah, so like same thing though, like limited minutes, but like playing well. You know, I think I chipped in a little bit, and it's getting close to the end of the season now, and like I haven't had like that game yet. You know, that game where it's like, you know, I had a Gordy or like I had a couple goals, like nothing where they were like, hey, we like absolutely need this guy. You know, like he's a good player. He's
sticking around.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I think the coach was like, yeah.
Were you thinking that, though? Sorry to interrupt you. Were you thinking, okay, I'm starting to show a little bit of improvement, but I don't think the coaching staff and the management are 100% sold on me? Were you thinking that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I always am going to think like that, just because of like where I've been. Like nothing, like I have that chip on my shoulder where like I have to prove people wrong every day. Like that's got to be my mentality. So anyways, yeah, going into like the end of the season there, man, it's just like I start getting more ice time too. I'm probably around like 10 minutes. I'm playing with, you know, one of their young kids, like Zaid Wisdom just got drafted there. Really good player of the OHL. And another kid, Tanner McMaster. He played like, I think he came from the Marlies, and I'm just playing like with some of the best players I've ever played with. And it was just one of those nights, man, where the hockey gods were just kind of like, you know, you deserve this night. And they were just like, I don't think I was playing any different than I do. Like usually when I get in, I have a few shots, I get good chances. Like every night I was getting chances, but this is just one of those nights where they were going in, man. I got a hat trick, and then I think, yeah, crazy. And then at the end of the night, like that guy, that kid, like he speared our goalie, and then he took another one of my boys out.
Like the guy you fought?
Yeah, and then at center ice, I just checked him out and was like, yo, like you got to answer for those, like. That's dirty. Like it's time to answer. Like
that's 3 strikes, pal.
And he's looking at me like, fuck you, fucking ECHL. I'm just like, heard it before, man. Like like you gonna fight? And he's just like, he wasn't fighting, but just like terrible ice awareness, because like the next shift he goes and blows the kid up, and like I'm right there, like, here we go. So that was it, man. That was like the second last game. It was hat trick in a fight, and contracts on the table.
And the way you led off the ice with a little run down the hallway to the left, I watched that video and I saw you run down to the left, and I was just like, I know exactly. That kid has the biggest smile on his face right now. And you just knew a contract was coming. You're like, someone's got to see this and go, what the fuck? Who's this? What's going on?
Little Marshy flex on the way off.
Oh my god!
What was the first thing I texted you? I was like, you're gonna show the belt?
Hey, little Marshy flex.
And then everyone listening to the podcast right now, like I messaged him and I was like, look, Son, so proud of you. Awesome fight. Way to go. And then what you said back to me was, Belly, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
And anyone that's listening out there, it doesn't matter what the hell you're doing in life. If you just listen to what this man across the table from me was talking about, for what he just went through in the past 4, 5, 6 years, to what that last game represents, what more do you need to hear in life?
Yeah, man. Isn't that crazy?
It doesn't matter what you're doing in life.
So
if
it's so true, man. It's like, and dude, that's the best part of it for me is like, you know, when guys like you and like friends and family or like guys I played with in midget reach out and they're just like, Son, it's like, keep going, man. You know, like, dude, like, you know, like keep going, man. Like, it's like, that shit just fires me up, right?
Oh,
like
man.
just everyone from back home going nuts. But yeah, like you said, like you could see, I'm throwing my hands up, like
Adrenaline, though.
Yeah, just like we're really here now, type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's
Like-
everything coming into one.
Like
moment.
I'm here.
It's the Saulnier show now.
Yeah, like what's up? Anyways, you see me ripping down the hallway, dude. That's because like 12 of the guys that for that month and a half,
Yeah.
we were just practicing.
You guys were all the practice squad or something.
Yeah, and it's late in the game, so they're all now down at their press box, like down in the room, getting ready to like dab the boys up, like coming off. And it's like all my boys that I was practicing with all year are going bananas.
Yes, that's the best.
They're going nuts. And it
Oh,
was
that's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, we're just like, hands are all busted up, boys are jumping around, and it was literally jokes, man. It was jokes.
What I do to have that on camera, just that whole scene in the dressing room.
Oh, just like wearing a GoPro.
Just the emotion, just the boys. Oh,
Oh,
man, that is
dude.
awesome.
Because
But,
even
like,
if your
yeah.
adrenaline's starting to kind of wind down after the tilt, and you
Yeah.
get down in the
Oh,
tunnel, and
no.
the boys are there. Now you're
Yeah.
just as jacked. You're more
Yeah.
jacked up now
Yeah.
than you
Did
were.
did you sleep it all that night, or were you just on social media looking
No,
like
man.
what you just?
Honestly, I didn't sleep much all year, just like.
Oh, your last
Just
10
like,
years.
just like I'd call like tuna, right? Like if I knew like coming back after that fourth game and I knew I had to fight, like just going to bed thinking like, and you got to fight, like shit like that. Like that's hard on the head, man. Like those true heavies, like, that's what they do. Like that's hard. Like that's tough nights, man. Just like knowing you got to fight. That's why, when you bring both, like you're not expected to fight every night. You don't have to go to bed sleeping like
Yeah, you
that.
don't have
But
to-
like me, like breaking into these leagues, like you got to know, like I have to have that on my head a little bit. But I just knew like once you score 3 and then fight, like when I go in next year, I don't have to think about that shit.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It's
I don't
already
have
off
to-
your
I don't
plate.
have to think like if I don't fight right now, like I'm not gonna play this game again, right?
Mhm.
Like I can just go in there,
Continue on.
play my brand of hockey, and with confidence in
Which
an
is huge.
in an organization who I think is pretty big on me, with like a lot of my friends now that I've met this year. So like just
Mhm.
so excited about like just training this summer and then rolling in there for training camp, hopefully going to main camp, maybe getting some exhibition games, and like
True.
obviously we'll have fun with that.
Well, it's interesting how you're talking about this, and this was probably one of the first times. I'm sure you still have to prove a lot, I'm sure, but it must be nice going into a camp knowing that, okay, I'm a known player here. They know what I can bring to the table. You don't have to prove certain things. They know what you can bring. That must be a little nice going into it.
Yeah, it's so nice to have like some security, right?
Yeah,
Job
exactly.
security,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Which you haven't had like full on in a few
ever.
years now, right?
It's the same kind of feeling as when I was going into school, right? Because like when I was in junior, when I was like making calls to get out west, and then once I got out west, like trying to get that scholarship,
Mhm.
like once I had it, and then like it's just like that security of like you can have a summer of just like you can relax a little bit. You don't have to be worrying like every night like, do I have a contract?
Mhm.
Am I going back to the bank?
Am I going back? Never. Yeah.
The bank is soul crushing, man.
Oh yeah.
I'll go,
Anything but hockey is
I'll go-
soul crushing, in my opinion.
I'll go back with a couple duffels maybe.
I got my bag. I got my bags now.
Still got them.
I'm just joking. But yeah, I mean, you can, like I can, after that night, like you celebrate that night. It's like, it's nice. Like it felt good to have, but like the next day it's right back to work, right? It's like cool. Like you've done it on this stage, but like what's next? Like there's more to chase, there's more to prove.
Only as good as your last game,
Only as
right?
good as your last game, and like to me, like I haven't, I'm just like getting started. Hopefully here, like I haven't, I haven't really done anything yet.
Yeah.
Well-
Maybe to you, yeah, I guess, but
But that is the mindset you need to have.
If you want to
can't-
get to the top,
sure.
like if you want to get to the top in anything you do, right? It's like, you like Belly said, you got to celebrate those small victories
mhm.
and build off those. But like, there's always something to chase. There's always someone to chase. So that's also motivation, is like just humbling yourself and like just know that like.
And pro hockey's such a beast too, because like you told him like 6 times in those few stories that you told about guys coming up and down, and there's guys trying to take jobs and all this other stuff, right? So literally, if you don't have that mindset, you get too comfortable, and then what happens?
Yeah.
Right. Even when you're playing at your best, sometimes it just wasn't going your way, which you notice. And now when you're seeing both sides of it, it's got to be a little bit easier to be able to think after going through things, experience is much more important than, hearsay or what someone tells you, right? So now you're in the right mental state. And you're like, okay, I know this feeling. Here's what I have to do.
Yeah, that's just adversity, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I've taken a ton of that in my life, and when you go through that kind of stuff, and like you can come out on the other side, that's such a good feeling. It's like you bet on yourself, you got through the mud, and you saw light when there wasn't much of it, and like that feeling is like, once you do that kind of stuff, like then you feel like, you're gonna be hard to stop.
It builds calluses in your brain. It's like when you're working a construction job for the first time and you're shoveling cement, like your hands are gonna just kill. You're gonna go home, you're gonna be sore. But you do that job a week, a month, 2 months, you're going to wake up, your hands are going to be tough as shit. You're going to be shoveling that cement like it's nothing. It's the same thing with what you're going through. You being on the bus in Europe, you're building calluses.
Right.
You doing all those, you're at dinner with your bags. Where am I playing? What's going on? That insecurity of where am I playing next? Building calluses.
Yeah.
And to be able to be where you are now, your hands, your head, everything is tough. You're ready for the journey that you're about to go on. And I like what you said. Like, I haven't done anything yet. It's just getting started. It's exactly the mindset you need. You talk to any single guy. You talk to McKinnon. He hasn't done anything yet. He's looking for a cup. That guy doesn't give a fuck about anything he's done. Mem Cup, sure, great. No, he needs a cup. It doesn't matter what you're doing. That's what I love about this podcast, man. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. Everything comes back to the same core values. Work hard. Don't give up.
Yeah, respect.
Have some adversity. Respect the industry that you're in, and then the game will be good back to you. You've been good to the game. You've put your life into the game, and now the game is slowly starting to reward you. I don't know, man. I'm not like I'm not gonna get deep, but
honestly,
there's an energy out there that if you put all your work and everything towards an energy will come back to you. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's proven itself time and time again. And just to hear everything you've gone through, it's kind of freaky.
Dude, you gotta believe in that, like energy and frequencies and manifesting. When you're chasing something like that, you gotta think, you gotta see, like you gotta have a plan, and you gotta work so hard to to
stay on it,
to create that, right? So
how'd you deal with doubt? I doubt myself sometimes.
So doubt, doubt, fear. I think doubt is your friend, fear is your friend, because when you take that head on and come out the other side of that, that's just such a good feeling, right?
So you mean like your friend, as in like if you're willing to take it
on,
on,
like you want doubt. Like if I go out there, like say I'm doubting, like say I got some doubt, I'm in the American League,
right? Okay,
probably lucky. Like everyone's looking around, like a guy like me, like lucky to be there, right? Like a lot of doubt, right? And you doubt yourself, but then like when you go in there and you get a hattie, you bury a guy, like
true,
the doubt's gone, man. And like how that like shitty doubt feeling you had, like, and now like you got through that,
conquered,
like that's a crazy feeling, right?
So basically it's like the doubt and the fear is what's really essentially mentally pushing you to get to that next level, because in your head you're going, shit, I don't know, I don't know, and then all of a sudden you face that, you go head to head with it, and then you get through it and you're like, bring on the next doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's like a stepping stone.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that's familiar now.
Right.
Like you're looking for that feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's just like the start of what's great.
I never thought of it from that perspective. You're looking for doubt because doubt's just a problem. When you get a problem and you solve it, then it's in the past. I never thought of it from that perspective.
Well, if you don't have any doubt, I mean, you're probably pretty comfortable at what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. What do they say? You got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Huh.
Yeah.
Grow up in Fairview. You'll learn that.
How's your sister doing?
Jill's doing good, man.
Yeah, she's in Montreal right now?
Jill is in Montreal. They just put together that PWHPA.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
She had a big app, too, I think, or maybe she didn't get the Apple on it, but I was watching, so Reffy.
Yeah, Jill. No, Jill went large like she does when those games get on Sportsnet, and
yeah,
and she knows everyone back home is watching, but she's doing good. She's in Montreal, and I think they're going to centralize the girls here pretty soon because, dude, another Olympics is coming up.
Right.
I think in 2 years, so You guys know, like, they centralized the girls for like 8 months. I think they just have like just a grueling 8 months of.
What do you mean centralized?
Centralized is so they send probably 30 girls out to Calgary, and they have like a 6-8 month training camp leading up to the Olympics.
Okay.
You know, you're away from your families, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, kids.
Yeah.
You know, you're grinding, right? Getting ready.
And they did that before COVID and everything?
Yeah, this has always been a thing for the Olympic girl athletes, right? Because they're all on salary from Hockey Canada. So, like, you know, if they want to put them up for 8 months and train them, like, they're working, right? And then
true.
But it's so good to do, though. Like, if you can, like, just like all that camaraderie that builds, and like
you get to know your teammates.
You get to know everything about them.
Yeah.
And then they go into that Olympics. So, I mean, hopefully Jill, you know, makes that team, and then, you know, brings like the ultimate prize back home, man, gold medal. Like,
yeah, so we can all celebrate.
You know, we got a silver. But
yeah,
that's just a coaster at Dad's house.
Yeah.
maybe she's got a little bit of doubt and they'll win, hey? Since it's your friend and all.
That's true, man. Jill's been left off teams, man, and we've talked, and you know, we've played this game forever, me and her. So, like, it's just like she's so good to have too. Like, you know, one of your best friends is your sister, and
you guys are going through the same things,
going
essentially.
through similar stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so how often would you guys communicate? Like, if you're ever feeling down or you're doubting or whatever, do you guys, like, you know, communicate on that stuff? Hey, I'm having an issue with this. Have you ever done this? Or is it just more of like hey, how you doing? Just a little, almost like a sense of security, you know?
It's more like, yeah, like we talk about kind of everything, and like our paths like are very similar but so different. Like, it's just like the men's game, the women's game is just so different. So we kind of have our own challenges, but like it's just nice to have like someone who you can relate to, and you know, that being blood, and she's definitely been on the other end of a lot of, you know, crazy phone calls, and vice versa. Like, she got left off a team a couple years ago, like one of the world championship teams, and she called me, and Jill's always been like the one, right? Like, has been left off a lot of teams, so like to face something like that so late in your career, right? And I get that phone call, like, yeah, like they're like, we're not feeling sorry for ourselves around here, right? Like, we're, you know, you got something to prove, like you got a chip on your shoulder, so like, you know, the next tournament we're in, guess what? We're going crazy.
Tear it up.
We're going crazy.
Yeah.
We actually had a Twitter question from someone, and they wanted to know what it was like to play with your sister at St. Agnes Junior High. You guys were on the same junior high team.
Is that Luke Monroe?
Yeah, it was. How do you know that?
Money.
Luke Monroe, what a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, Jill and I grew up playing every year together. I was like, and Jill grew up on the backyard rink and like the road hockey. Like, she was playing with the boys, man. Like, she's just like, if she didn't have a ponytail, like,
you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know, man. She didn't get no special treatment, man. She was getting whacked and cracked, and we were competing, man. So like, I mean, Jill plays that kind of chippy game too. Like, you know, it's just like, she's fun to watch, man. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, it's a great family. It's a great hockey family story.
Yeah,
I just like it.
And it's literally, it's not even a story that's finished. It's being written.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Like, it's a book in progress, essentially.
Something that you've learned about yourself over these past couple of years. I know obviously you're great at going through adversity and things like that, and just pushing through problems. Just maybe one thing that you learned about yourself that you're maybe proud of.
Just to bet on yourself, man. Like, if you got a goal or a dream, you know, you got to be your biggest fan, and you just got to be willing to outwork everyone. And I think just from what I learned from myself is that, you know, you can really do anything, like anything you want. If it's hockey, if it's, you know, business, podcasts, like if you guys got a vision, like, you just work for it, man. You got to believe, and you got to show up and work your ass off every day. And I think, like, with that work ethic and you know, something to work towards, like, you can get anything done at what, you know, at any level.
At anything.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be advice for, I guess that was kind of the same question, but just advice for a guy who maybe, I asked Trevor Steinberg the same question, and he had a great answer, but like an advice for a third, fourth line guy, maybe on a junior team, college, whatever it was. What would your advice be to a guy like that or a girl like that?
Man, just like work on your game, like work, like if you're third, if that's your slot, like just work on your game and get better every day, and like try to push for like whatever team you're on, by the end of the year, like being one of the top players. Just because like you fit in that role doesn't mean you can't, like, especially a young kid, like you're developing every year, like you're developing so much. So like work on your skills, work on your skating, watch hockey.
Interesting. That's a cool answer.
Yeah,
watch hockey.
Yeah. Find like what kind of players you want to shape your game around. It doesn't have to be one. Like for me, I got like 10 players that I love, man. I'm just like picking apart little bits, right? And trying to put that all together into like the Brennan Saulnier brand. So just like those little things, and just like a crazy work ethic, man. Like, but that just comes with like your passion. Like if that's really your dream and you'll do anything for it, like that's just second nature. Like you're gonna, like you show up to the gym, like that's not work. That's just,
this is it.
This is just like,
necessary.
You love that grit. Like you love being in the trenches working. So that'd just be some advice for the young guys.
It's like you said,
and
Belly,
girls.
too, about the calluses on the hands, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, right, you work out the first couple days, it sucks, it's hard, you're sore, blah, 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 and then you're a week, 2 weeks in, you're a month in now, and this is what your mind is trained on, right? This isn't, I got to go work. It's like, all right, I'm going to work today.
Yeah.
Because you have something in mind. Now, for me, obviously, like, I'm not just going to get up and work out for no reason, right? But it's like you said, though, once you get into that mentality or that mindset or that groove, I guess, that's when you really start to see the results, right?
Yeah. And you got the hard part about working out is when things aren't going right, or like you're having some doubt, like going to the gym and working when like there's the unknown, you know?
Yeah.
Like coming back from Sweden, working out before I go to a bank, like that's hard shit, but you gotta see the light and know that like all this work is like just kind of like shaping you into like who you're gonna be.
Better human.
Yeah, and it's like, it's all gonna just kind of snowball and work out in the end if you just keep working. Like now I can go into the gym, man. I love going to the gym. I love it, man. Going in there like with some some of my best buddies who like we're all chasing the same thing. Like now that's just like it's like my routine. It's just part of my day, and like it's all just it's all good work.
I love it. How much time are we at, dudes?
I'm in no rush, boys.
Oh, I know.
Hour 13.
Are we hour 13?
Hour
yeah,
13.
You got a question? Because I got to use the washroom really quick.
We're good, man.
Do you want to ask a question, dudes?
Yeah, I got a few questions.
Okay, give her one.
I did want to kind of, I don't know, this is kind of goes with the whole theme, I guess, but for when you're trying to deal with things like mentally and stuff like that, have you ever, in the last few years, tried to find something to do to like put you at peace mentally? Like obviously, the fucked up people, they're like, I drink to deal with my shit, but like I know a lot of people are big on like yoga and like breathing things. Is there anything like that you do, or do you just kind of just get it in your head and you just keep pushing forward like you always have?
Yeah, you mean like a vice, kind of?
Yeah, essentially like a vice, or like I don't know. So you learn stuff about yourself as you get older, right? Like, things, ways to cope with things, and obviously, I think you've probably had a little more stress in this department than I have, right? So it's like I don't know, like, are you a big deep breath guy? Do you do push-ups when you're stressed out, or like something to just help? I guess it could be a vice.
Not necessarily, like nothing where like if something's going wrong, like I need to do yoga or something. It's just like be consistent, man. Like every day, like get up, like drink your water, man. Like stretch, like take care of your body. Take care of your body, like that's just gonna help your mind so much, man. Like and just like try to be like the healthiest version you can, man. Go out, like move your body, like when I'm getting active, and I think it's not just like me being an athlete. I think it's anyone just like getting a sweat, like whatever that is, like that just kind of like gets the squirrels out of your head. And like,
true,
like the other day, for example, like I just went for a bike ride, like with a couple of my buddies, just like get out and move, and like just like my energy just like changed completely. Like I was just coming off quarantine, like I was stuck inside, and just like that little bit of exercise, like So that's probably it for me, man. Just like staying consistent and doing the right things.
Right.
It is because at the end of the day, at least I find with the business, it is the little things. It's like finding that next podcast guest. That's like, believe it or not, that's work. You got to DM guys, you got to line up schedules, it's little things that allow you to
Get the big things.
to get the big things and grow. And the word I liked that you used there was consistency. And consistency isn't as easy as everyone thinks. To be able to do the exact same thing each and every day. Who was it that said this? It was actually Babcock who said it about Lindstrom in Detroit. He was like, the reason why Lindstrom is so successful and he's been successful for this amount of time is because he does the little things each and every day. Even if it's that oatmeal at 7 a.m., that stretch at 9 a.m., and then the practice, he does it the exact same way. It's just like he does the little boring things each and every day that allow you to have I don't know how many years he was in the NHL for, but it was a long time. And it's very true, but those little things are tough, man. Like, I'll admit, I'll wake up and I know I should, drink a gallon of water, whatever it is, take a run, stretch. And sometimes I say, no, I'm not doing that today, Justin. And you notice it throughout the day. You notice your mood. You notice things aren't right because you're not doing those little things that allow your mind and your body to feel
free.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's true. It is 100% true. What are your plans for the summer?
My summer is
Let's leave working out. Do you have any like vacation plan, like golf or anything like that? Obviously, we know you're gonna work your ass off.
Yeah, no, I don't have any like big trips planned, but I like, after like obviously the training and all that stuff's taken care of. Like I like obviously golf with my buddies, going for drinks downtown, man, on a
patio
nice
season, baby.
on a nice Saturday sunny day down at the Goat, or going out for dinner, man, just seeing everyone. Like, this is vacation for me, man. Like, coming home, like we live in such a beautiful part of the world. Like, you don't really appreciate this place until you've left, and I get to come home for like the nicest months of the year and see everyone. And
everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy. Everyone's excited. And, we're talking, just catching up. Like, it's all good, man. Just so happy to be home.
There's a good energy in this part of the world in the summer. June, July, August,
Oh,
great energy.
I'm summering so hard this year.
Oh, who isn't? After being on lockdown, quarantine, it's going to be a good one.
Everyone is, man.
If play on happens, maybe I'll join. Who cares? Just get out there, do something.
If it has to do with running, I'm out.
What do you mean, you're
that
goalie,
shit.
buddy? You're the goalie. You never ran your life.
You still got to run post to post, right? Stop in the dumps for the D, that kind of stuff.
You got to run the other end when Belly gets buried. Lock her up.
I'm not sticking up for him. He beat me up, so he could stick up for himself.
No, boys, I'm just the camera guy now. I don't play anymore.
Just the camera guy.
Speaking of that, are rinks even open right now? Can you even get on the ice?
I'm not sure if they're open. I know our gym's open, so I think I'm going to take another week just to kind of chill out and relax and see some family and get organized, and then get back to work in the gym, and then hopefully towards the end of the month things start to open up and we jump back on the ice and get it popping.
How do you feel right now? How's your body?
Feels good, man. I was lucky, to be able to accomplish what I did in 16 games. Didn't get banged up too much, man. Like,
especially the rough and tough style.
Yeah,
too, right?
like those games, those games add up, right? Like those scraps add up. Like no playoffs either. So got in there, played a few games, did well with it, and now we have an opportunity to go in, next year and really get it going. And I feel brand new and very motivated and a ton of energy. So
is there a plan for next year, like going back to camp? Do they have a set date for when camp starts?
I'm not sure. I haven't got any details really. I just got my training program sent over, so we'll just kind of go through those phases. And my trainer always, like, he includes like all Drake's workouts he gets from Ottawa, and now I'm sure he'll throw some of Philly stuff in there. And we just get to work, man. And then whenever that call comes, whether I'm going to Philly main camp or I'm going to Lehigh's camp, just make sure I'm healthy and as strong and in shape as possible. So
who did Lehigh Valley just hire? Their head coach,
Lapierre.
Yeah,
Lappy.
they just hired Lappy, who's like.
Do you know him at all?
I don't know him personally. I know he was the assistant coach there in Philly.
And in Pittsburgh for a bit, wasn't he in Pittsburgh?
Was he in Pitt? I just
maybe
know.
not.
I think he played in Pittsburgh, maybe.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and he played in Colorado too.
He's tough, I know that.
He played in the Quebec League here, and like his his numbers. He's just like I think he'll like my brand of hockey, man. He just seemed like he just looked like in junior he had, crazy points, and then always had, penalty minutes, and then once he got to pro, obviously like his minutes probably got shortened, but he was always, he's able to produce like in the NHL, but also like
Produce in other ways.
In all ways. So
Yeah.
like he always had a lot of PIMs. So I'm sure me and him will, be good friends, and hopefully, go in there and have a big season for him and win a championship.
What do you look for in a coach, especially a guy in your role? Do you like a guy to give you good direction? Do you like a guy to be honest with you? What do you look for in leadership in a coaching role?
I mean, a coach, like, I always just have so much respect for my coach, and just know that, he knows stuff that I don't know about the game. And I'm just, I don't look for, like, I need an iron fist kind of coach, or I need, like, a coach who's, like, more of a mentor. Like, the coach is just going to be who the coach is, and that's going to be a good hockey mind and someone who wants the best for you. So, for me, and like that's like, to me, that's my boss. Like, the coach is the boss.
Yeah.
So just like show up and work and be willing to learn.
I've always heard that there was a different coaching style compared to junior and pro. Because junior, no one's getting paid, everyone's there to get better. But pro, you kind of have to deal with personality and ego, and guys that are trying to get on the power play because they want to get seen a little bit more. Do you notice a difference at all between the coaching style in pro and junior?
I mean, yeah, I think in junior, like junior coaches, like, I mean, I played tier 2, I played junior A obviously before going to NCAA. So I think those coaches, like, you got 19, 20-year-old kids there, like, it's more of like, it's like can be like a babysitting role, man. Like, you're there to make sure these kids obviously excel on the ice, but like are also not getting in trouble off the ice, doing the right things, and right. So like, I mean, once you get to once you get to pro, like, if you're a player, like, that's your job, that's your career. So like, they know that you're taking care of your own shit off the ice. So it's just like, when we do get to the rink, like, it's time to work. It's time to get better every day. And that's probably the difference.
Yeah. It's more the business side of it too. Must be interesting. I've heard things about the business of hockey. It's a great game, shitty business. Sending guys down even though you don't want to, but you have to because of cap reasons.
Two-way contracts, that kind
Things
of shit.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's politics in hockey. There's
Always has been.
Even at that level?
Politics, I think, in everything. Like, coming out of, people coming out of university with degrees, I feel like, some people, get advantages coming out just like who you know or whatever it is, politics, right? Shit like that. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to get done whatever you're going to get done on your own. Like, don't be pointing fingers. Like, if things aren't going well for you, then take ownership and
take a look.
And take a look. Yeah. Start pointing thumbs.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
That's
like,
me.
Don't be out here looking for tummy rubs.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Yeah. There's nothing sweet about it.
Yeah.
I'd go for a tummy rub right now. Feeling a little down. How you feeling, Belly?
I'm good, man.
Good pod, boys.
I love pods where you just listen.
Good pods, boys.
I didn't even really ask a question. You just listen. You just go, what's this guy got to say? And it's like, I love the fact that your whole year was documented. Like, I love the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I love being able to see things while you're away, and now you're here and I can ask you about them. Like, I just, it just gets me jacked up. I say it time and time and time and again, and I'm going to continue to say it. Guys and girls from Nova Scotia that are in the athletic world I know it's beat with a hammer, but that grit element is something that is not found
And just everybody.
In everybody.
Maritime grit.
And it can't be taught. I don't think it can be taught.
No, man. I love flexing the Maritimes on everyone too. They're just like,
some of them don't know where it is.
Sonzy, where'd you learn how to fight? Argyle Street.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I was joking.
But it's just
no.
it's just one of those things, man. Like,
Argyle Street.
we grow up here, and like, it's so small. Like, where we're from is so small, and like,
it's a bubble.
Like, growing up, like the NHL, like, everything outside of here just seems so far away. Like, you grow up and you're like, I want to play in the NHL, but like,
how,
like, right? Like, that's just, it seems it's a pipe dream, honestly. But like, if I could tell like any young athlete, and I can speak for Jill too in the women's game, it's just like, man, just like you can get out of Halifax, man, and just like I can see it now, just like the product that's coming up, like is crazy.
And now that the opportunities are there, right? Like everyone else is now working a little bit harder because it's there. It can be done.
The knowledge is there, I think. Like people look at your path, people look at Batherson's path, just like different routes that people take in order to get to the dream. There's no straight line from A to B. There's different routes you got to go. There's relationships you got to make. There's agents that you have to be. You're your own agent sometimes. You know, it's just very cool to see the different paths of people taking and how it can be done because there's so many different ways.
There is, and it's just nice now. Like when we grew up, I'm sure it's the same for you. Like really only like Sid would have been, you know, had probably like made it really big, right? Like everyone was like, you know, Sid's from here and he made the NHL and he's, you know, the best in the world. But now it's like you have so many guys that are like breaking into the NHL, like Drake, and like there's just so like we have so many players that are going to be pros here in the next like 5 years from Halifax that it's like it's pretty special. Just because I'm sure now like these kids are looking up to, you know, not just Sid and Nate and Marchand. They can also look up
the gridiron game.
I mean, maybe someday, but like, you know, Drake and all these other guys that are coming in that, you know, played Junior A and then went to the Q and then from the Q went to World Juniors and now he's in Ottawa. Like, and it's not just Drake. Like, there's a ton of guys and all positions, and it's pretty special, man.
Awesome.
The thing for me, Sans, right now is when we said like, yeah, like they're looking at you. I know you want to be humble about it, and I get that. But it's like, how many guys do you think are sitting in the fucking Junior A league or whatever going, you know, I've seen Sans do it or I've seen such and such do it. You need that next step. You need that next opportunity. But there's so many of those people, especially here, that are sitting there going, okay, well, this is actually fucking doable. Like, I've seen guys do it instead of going like when I played, it was like, I didn't know there was Junior A anywhere else.
Right.
Nor did I care at the time, right? Because you're playing with your buddies. But you're sitting there and you're going, okay, like, you know, I got something here. It can be done instead of going, well, I haven't seen it done before.
Exactly,
right? So it's like, how am I supposed to do this? Like you said, it's a pipe dream. How the
Yeah.
fuck am I supposed to get there? But now they see it, right? So there is people that are going to be looking up to you. Maybe they're not 6, 7, 8 years old, but it's still somebody.
You'd be surprised, man.
I know there is still some of those, but I'm still saying, like, at Junior A too, like, in your mind, you're thinking, okay, like, I got to take the next step or it's nothing, right? Like, so when you see other people do it, like, I know if I seen you do it when I was playing junior, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll work a little harder.
Well, I think the thing you're talking about is like the age thing. Like, I remember being at 20 and be like, if I'm not playing pro by 21, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, and like I know that was a big problem because junior Mooseheads, it's 20
and you're lucky to play at 20.
You know, it's like, and that doesn't have to be the route. You can go the college route and play to your 24, 25 and then go pro.
Yeah.
And I think that's the information I think that people need to be
Very
receiving from, whether it's their parent, their agent, people that have done it before. There's just, there's information out there of routes you can take.
Yeah. So when I was coming into midget, you guys were on the max. I think I was coming in for a first year. And Kirk released me. He was just like, you're too small. Like, people are just going to take liberty on you and probably kill you. I think I was like 4'11".
That's Kirk, just honest. Just
I think I
the-
was
Oh, yeah.
4'11".
Yeah.
Anyway, so like I played whatever it was, high school, and just going back to like people, you know, if someone can draw inspiration from, you know, taking, you know, the road less traveled. There's a kid, his name's Dave Gagnon.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Know
about
what
now.
I'm talking about?
Yep.
Know what I'm talking about?
No.
I do.
This kid played high school hockey,
Mm-hmm.
and now he just signed a full ride scholarship to play D1.
Yep.
And like, you got to think that
Crazy.
like a guy like Dave, maybe when he was in high school and his best buddies are playing major junior or playing major midget and getting drafted into the Q and playing 16, 17, that maybe that kid was like, well, you know, Brennan Saulnier played high school and then played junior A and then he went to U.S. college and then he went to an NHL camp and now he's in the AHL. Like,
That's what I mean.
you know, so like, I mean, if you can draw inspiration from anything that I've said, just know like the sky's the limit, but like you gotta work, man.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know,
easy.
Like, like it's not easy, but nothing good in life is. So,
True.
so if that's what you really want to do, it's doable, and just chase your dream, man.
Awesome. Last question, or just what are you doing the rest of the day? Like, we covered pretty much everything. What are you doing the rest of the day? Love asking that question.
I'm just getting organized, man. I got some Just some boxes to check, and I'll probably go see my old man and
Nice.
yeah, have another coffee or just go see some family, man. It's been a long year, so it's just nice being home and
Awesome.
and seeing everyone.
Well,
Just being
Sans,
in
man,
there.
you're the man. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate this.
Thanks, fellas.
Awesome. Anyone listening, I'm sure you can take inspiration from this episode. Glad we could provide it. Glad you could tell some stories. Dudes, good to have you back.
Good to be back.
It's going to be a great summer. Everyone head out to Osprey Ridge Golf Course. And that's pretty much all I got to say.
Try and hit
I'll
the
be there.
sign.
Yeah. All right, boys and
All right,
girls.
guys.
Everyone, we're out. Peace.
Peace.